This is Volume 1, Version 1 of the HADAD HotBoard, starting with tier number 1. The probably a long shot, but you got to try anyway.
We're going to create a time machine and go back and get 1996 Skip Burtman. That's number 1. Totally unrealistic, but that would be my first. Okay, so here, let's move forward here. I think that the unrealistic candidates, to me, Vitello would be on that list. I would at least call him because there is, I know Tennessee won the national title last year, but there is a difference in the support that he would receive at Mississippi State versus at Tennessee. Mississippi State would give him more than Tennessee does.
Yeah, they
I don't know about in terms of salary, but in terms of what, money into the program, there would be more at Mississippi State.
He's currently the highest paid coach in college baseball at $3 million.
That's why it's unrealistic. State's not going to. I don't think State's going to give a baseball coach $4 million a year when its football coach makes 4.5. I just don't see that happening. So that would be on the unrealistic. I think Kevin O'Sullivan is unlikely. It could be a situation where he's just been at Florida for so long and he's ready to move on. It's kind of gotten stale down there. But again, I just don't see that one happening. I would put him on that list. There's not a lot of guys that I'm just like, Wes Johnson probably not on the unrealistic list. Big buyout, big contract over there. Seems unlikely that he would make that move.
But it's definitely to the point of the exercise, a call you make.
You'd call him. I would call him. So that's your that's your 4 that you say now. Yeah, it would be awesome. You hire Tony Vitello, you would do it.
Yeah,
but it seems unlikely.
So again, Vitello, Johnson,
O'Sullivan
at Florida, Johnson at Georgia.
Yeah, I said somebody else, didn't I? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Those are the big 3 for that.
So, yeah, those are the Zach Selman. And by the way, I would assume that Selman has already reached out to the agents of all of these guys. I would
have absolutely said, I'm sure he's texted somebody by now. Yeah. All right, so now we'll talk about guys that.
Tier 2. So, Tier 2. Candidate that's realistic, that would be a really good hire that fans would embrace that would also have.
We'll use the baseball analogy and say it's a slam dunk hire.
Exactly.
All right.
A 50-yard field goal hire.
A name that's starting to pop up a little bit, just a little smoke, is Brian O'Connor, the head coach at Virginia. Small buyout, only $500K for his buyout. And Virginia is not a program that's going to put the money into baseball that Mississippi State would. It's a guy who's won a national title. He was in the College World Series last year. He's been to, I think, 7 total.
Ooh, buddy, he's been to 3 of the last 4 College World Series at Virginia.
Great college baseball coach. Kendall Rogers is kind of hinting that Mississippi State might throw out a big line. That would be the name I would watch there.
Ooh, that is not somebody that you mentioned him briefly yesterday.
Yeah.
But that is not somebody we talked about at length.
There's just a puff of smoke. Just a puff.
What is his current salary? By the way, I Googled Brian O'Connor.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be careful.
And Fast and the Furious Brian O'Connor came up. May he rest in
peace.
We
don't have a team. We have family here at Mississippi.
That's right.
I would put Cliff Godwin in this list. Now, I think Godwin is less likely because I think Godwin wants the Ole Miss job at the end of the day. I think he's going to wait out Bianco. But could Mississippi State make him an offer and him say, look, I'm kind of tired of treading water here at East Carolina. I've taken this program as far as I think it can go. Maybe I come back to Mississippi and see what I can do. Throw his name on this particular list. Mingione's name is on this list. Would be a really good hire for Mississippi State, I think. Big buyout, though. So do you want to pay that? I don't know the answer. I don't think you do. I think there are better options, but Mingione's definitely on this particular list. Rob Vaughn from Alabama on this list. Again, don't know the interest level from him, but I think Mississippi State would be well served by talking to him. I think we can't do a hot list with Zach Selman and not put Skip Johnson on there, but that's way down the list for me. Almost unlikely. Hasn't been that successful. He's having a good year this year. He did play for a national title a few years ago. I don't remember who he lost to. That's not important. But he would be someone that, could be like an option E or F for Mississippi State. Feels like that's somebody that if Zach Selman called him, he would take the job. I think Mingione, if offered, would take it, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
So E or F. And so you would have, if you were in Selman's position, you would go Godwin before Skip Johnson at Oklahoma.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Skip Johnson currently, so he started at Oklahoma in 2018, made the tournament, but lost in a regional. And 2019 did not make the tournament. 2020, COVID. 2021 did not make the tournament. Then 22 lost Ole Miss in the national championship. And
what? Who did they lose? I don't remember that.
And have made
good coach.
I think each of the last 2 years.
Godwin does less with more. Or I'm sorry, does more with less than Skip Johnson has, in my opinion. Mississippi would have some Mississippi ties. I just like that a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good tier for me for the second tier guys.
So Mingione, Johnson. No, so I know I'm saying these out of order. Godwin,
Godwin, O'Connor.
Man, O'Connor's. I'm going to be thinking about him for the rest of the day. That's an interesting, especially. I mean, he's making 1.4, so the salary demand would be pretty high.
Be easy to match that.
But if what you're saying is true, which I would never doubt you, his buyout being small
makes it interesting.
Huge.
And I just think that Virginia is not going to give him the support that he wants, whereas Mississippi State will absolutely do that.
Yeah.
All right, then you have your guys. You have guys who will say yes. Well, I don't know if they would say like the guys that would probably lean to it. I will not put Ostrander on this list, by the way. Ostrander might be in the other the second list. I don't think Ostrander would come though. I think he's comfortable at Southern Miss. He's winning. He's fine there. He'd be a great coach for State. I think he'd win really big, but I just don't think there's an interest level from State on this one. There's 2 assistants on this list. Josh Elander from Tennessee, who is basically the number 2 guy for Vitello. He's Vitello 2.0. Vitello worked for Van Horn. This guy works for Vitello. He's the next generation. The other guy there is Will Coggin. And he is the guy that if I got shot down by 2 or 3 Power 5 guys, I might just move to Will Coggin. I think he's the next big thing in college baseball. Played at State, went to Kentucky, turned them into a good hitting team, went to Georgia, turned them into a good hitting team, relentless recruiter, and quite honestly, he's a bit of a jerk. And I think State needs some of that right now. Lamona's too much of a nice guy at times. So I'll put him on the list. I would put Skylar Meade from Troy on that list. If you call Skylar Meade, he's probably taking the job. Has been at Troy, has turned them into a really, really good program. That's somebody I would keep an eye on. As for that's probably you're not going to get too much further down the list than those guys. You called Coggin and offered him the job. He's taking the job. He's coming home.
Mm-hmm.
So Skylar Meade, you call him, he's taking the job. Elander might think about it. He might think, well, I might have another chance, but I don't know what job he's going to get offered that's bigger than Mississippi State. So